What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, please make sure to like this video and subscribe and ring the bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss any single video. Well, after Nikki Haley got completely shellacked and embarrassed last night, she has decided she is going to go ahead and call it quits on the presidential race, which I think is very smart of her. Finally, she is doing something that is good. She has not done a single thing in this entire primary aside destroy Donald J. Trump from winning re-election later this year into the nomination. She's essentially just trying to sabotage Donald Trump in terms of hoping that Democrats will cross over and help her out in the primary. Because from what I've heard, it did not. She tried to get Democrats to vote, but yet she wasn't able to even get close to securing anything. She didn't even reach 100 delegates. If Ron DeSantis stayed in the race, he would have likely passed Nikki Haley in terms of delegate counts, let alone Vivek Ramaswamy, who only got 3 delegates in the primary, who I think Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be the 2028 Republican nominee. But either way, it's really just time to talk about how embarrassing Nikki Haley's presidential run was. Well, first of all, she's a complete establishment rhino. She wants to start World War III tomorrow because she just cares solely about it. And if we look at D.C., you can tell that she's not a good candidate. And Trump kind of took this as a badge of honor because Haley won D.C. by a sizable margin. You don't want to win D.C. because you don't want to win the swamp, obviously, because that's essentially what D.C. is. You really don't want to win the swamp. But either way, Donald Trump, aside from Washington, D.C. and Vermont, Trump was able to go out there and he was able to sweep the board in every single state. How incredible. I don't think any of us really saw that this was coming. Well, I kind of did see it coming in a way, but I didn't see Trump sweeping every single state by the margins we saw last night. Like North Carolina, we saw 74-23. Virginia, 63-35. Texas, 78-17. Minnesota, 69-29. Utah, 57-42. And California, 79-18. California was even more winnable for Trump this time around than Texas was in the primary. And Alaska, 88-12, is absolutely abysmal performance for Nikki Haley. So we could clearly tell that with her amount of support she was getting from her donors, that she was only in it to hurt Trump. So I'm really starting to wonder, was she a plant to take Trump out in the nominee this whole time? I kind of think she was, because if she was not, she would have seen the writing on the wall after the Iowa caucus, and she would have dropped out like Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis both did. Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy both saw the writing on the wall after the nomination, or after the big win from Trump in the Iowa caucus, and they both decided to get out of the race because they both knew the fight was not winnable for either of them. If Nikki Haley did the same thing, she would have a lot more credit than she currently does. Plus, she's been propped up by people like Liz Cheney, like Larry Hogan, like Phil Scott, like Chris Sununu, a bunch of these rhino weak people that have no business in politics anymore. Well, maybe Larry Hogan does. He's got a path to maybe get a Senate seat. But aside from that, Nikki Haley, she's got no political future. Let's just make that clear right now. Maybe she'll be able to do something down the road in like the RNC, but she has no future in like public political office or anything like that. When it comes down to states like even New Hampshire, when we had the New Hampshire primary, Trump outperformed her by 10 points when she had the popular governor's endorsement. And a lot of these New England states, which a lot of people thought were going to be closer, they were not. So it was clearly time for her to get out of the race. She was only in it to weaken Trump. And now that she's out of the race, we're now learning what her real voter base is like, because when she suspended her campaign, she refused to endorse Donald Trump to help him win the Republican nomination and then hopefully go on to win the general election in November. So that's clearly what we're seeing. So yeah, so let's take a look at this article of Nikki Haley's presidential race. So let's just take a look at this. As we can see, Miss Haley can boast of her 2 victories in the first 25 contests of the nomination season. Vermont and the District of Columbia, well, one's a city that's 95-5 Democrat, and the other one's a state that's 70-30 Democrat. D.C. was closed, but still you've got a bunch of those government bureaucrats that don't want to vote for Trump because they know that Trump's going to come in and wipe them out of their jobs. But Vermont is a state that has an open primary, and Democrats were going to be crossing over to vote for her, and that's exactly how she was able to win. It's very simple. And now that Trump has won over 1,000 of the delegates, he's got the nomination locked up. So even if Nikki Haley remained in the race, she would not have been able to win regardless. Trump only needs, less than 200 delegates, and then he'll be able to get the nomination. I think if he gets Arizona, along with Oregon and Connecticut and Rhode Island, he'll have the nomination locked up by the end of March. But I think he's going to clinch the nomination in March, and he's going to win the rest of the delegates after the rest of the primaries. And he's going to go to the Republican National Convention. He's going to be the Republican nominee. He's going to go up against Joe Biden. And now that we've taken out Nikki Haley, we need to start pivoting our attention on winning the general election and defeating Joe Biden, the worst president in the United States history. So that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe so you do not miss out on any of our future content. Plus, if you have any suggestions, please read the comments down below and subscribe to the channel. I will read each and every single one of your comments. So that being said, have a great rest of your day.